In case you didn't know, Super Mario Bros. Is being made by Illumination Entertainment. Of course, they made Despicable Me, and they made the new Grinch movie, and they make a lot of the 3D animated stuff. I think their stuff is actually pretty good, and they are working side by side developing this movie with Nintendo, and more importantly, Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario and most of the old IPs in Nintendo. I think that his most recent original work was probably Pikmin, and I know that Miyamoto is, of course, involved with most of what is going on at Nintendo even today. Of course, he is most famous for Mario and to a slightly lesser extent Zelda, though I feel like worldwide more people recognize Super Mario, so I'm going to say Mario is his most popular work, and Miyamoto is fully involved in every step of this movie. In fact, Illumination originally was trying to get this animated feature out by 2020. They talked a lot about the original Super Mario Bros. Live action movie from 1993 with, Bob Hoskins, and how they didn't want to repeat those mistakes. I'm sure you guys know a lot about that. There's plenty of literature about that. There's plenty of videos about that online. The old 93 movie suffered from like a rotating merry-go-round of directors and writers that never got on the same page, and nobody was talking to Nintendo. This is completely different. Illumination is working side by side with Nintendo and Shigeru Miyamoto to deliver a Mario movie that is true to the characters and the story. And I find it interesting that they say true to the characters and the story, because older Mario games were very lacking in story for the most part. It's just a plumber goes to this magical world called the Mushroom Kingdom to save Princess Toadstool from the evil King Koopa, or as we know him in America as Bowser. Later Mario games, like Mario 64 and especially Super Mario Sunshine, they would add so much more plot to their game. Sunshine, it's in a completely different place. It's not even in the Mushroom Kingdom. That was the first time we also saw Bowser Jr. So plenty of Mario games have expanded. For me as an adult, I feel like I really wanted Mario to evolve with me. I think that's the hope that we have for all of our favorite childhood things, that they'll evolve with us and get more mature. Mario didn't, and that's okay. It's always kind of been for kids, but I always wish that just once Nintendo would make a more mature Mario game so that fans of like the original games could now play a Mario game that they could appreciate, something where Mario, is depicted a little bit more realistic. If they were ever going to do a Mario origin story, I always saw it as more of like a superhero thing where Mario realizes that he has these powers from another universe. It's his destiny to go save the princess, and then he discovers that he can shoot fireballs out of his hands, all that. Many of those elements I've actually, of course, incorporated in things like Stupid Mario Brothers, my own fan fiction, because I love the idea that Mario is this guy that never really wanted to have power or do things, and then is kind of thrust into a position of being a hero. That's how I see Mario. Anyways, this Illumination movie, it's going to be an hour and a half of pure story. No inputs from you, the player. You're going to be watching a story about Mario saving the princess, and I'm really excited, especially with Nintendo's involvement, on what they're going to do to make this a feature-length story. I can only speculate. What I would love, beyond all, is Mario and Luigi depicted as just normal plumber brothers. And if we're going to get technical, that 1993 original movie, the first 10 or 20 minutes of that movie I actually really like, when they're just plumbers in the real world, and then they're thrust into this magical world. The first 20 minutes of the original movie is actually pretty good, in my opinion. The rest of the movie after that is dumb, but the way that movie started out was really good. And I feel like that's still the way you want to present these characters, that Mario and Luigi are your average Joes, because when Miyamoto created Mario for Donkey Kong in 1981, Mario was just your average Joe carpenter back then, who had to rise up to take down the great ape that is Donkey Kong to save his girlfriend Pauline from his evil clutches. And I think that even though we didn't really get to see his character transition from that to what he became in Mario Brothers, because there was no story in video games back then, they'd just play a new game, I really would love to see that transition. In fact, if the first half of this animated Mario movie could be Mario having to take down Donkey Kong to save Pauline, I'll be sound as a pound. And then after, he's a hero in the eyes of the city for having saved Pauline, and, he won't kill Donkey Kong, of course, he'll subdue him or something, then that's when he realizes that there's this other world of the Mushroom Kingdom that he then has to go to. I don't know, you see where I'm going with this? I've always seen Mario as kind of a superhero origin story, and I would love it if they did that. That would be rad. So anyways, let me get all the details out here. So again, the movie is coming out in 2022 because they're really taking their time with this movie. Shigeru Miyamoto is completely involved. Illumination is doing it. Of course, they've done Despicable Me. And one of their goals, they said explicitly, is to make it better than the 1993 film that we have. Guys, I'm super excited for this. I can't wait. Even if it feels like an hour and a half cutscene of just Mario taking down Bowser, that's still a huge improvement. Big part of why I'm excited is because Illumination is doing it, and it will be a completely CGI 3D film, and that is what we want. Now, will they make the story good? Again, with Nintendo involved, it's likely that the story will be good, but I wish I was writing the movie. Selfish of me, I know, but I have so many ideas I'd love to put in that Mario movie, but, not this time. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye!